Everything people have been told about being a good partner points you in one direction. Listen more, be empathetic, don't make everything a debate, prioritize the woman's feelings. And all of that in the right context is legitimate advice. I've even given it on this channel. Emotional intelligence, though, is real, and men who have it do better in relationships, period. But there's a critical distinction. Emotional intelligence means you understand your emotions and can engage with them honestly. Chronic agreeableness means you manage her emotions to avoid discomfort, be it yours or hers. And those two things look nearly identical from the outside. Inside the dynamic, though, they produce completely opposite results. And that's why it's important to talk about it today. Jessica OS here. Welcome to the channel. So think about the men she generally respects in her life, not the men she's comfortable with, okay? The men that she actually respects. Are they the ones who always agree with her? Or are they the ones who are honest with her, even when it's inconvenient? Real emotional intelligence looks like this, guys. She's upset about something, and instead of immediately trying to fix it or flatten it or redirect it, you stay present with the issue. You're not rattled by her emotions, you engage. You might push back, if you think she's off base, and you might validate if you think she's right. But you're in the conversation as a full participant and not a mood manager trying to get the temperature back to normal, okay? Now, chronic agreeableness looks like this. She's upset, and your first and only instinct is to de-escalate, agree faster. Apologize even when you're not sure what you did wrong. Say what she seems to need to hear. And on the surface, it looks considerate, but what she actually experiences over time is a man who isn't really there. A man who's so focused on her reaction that he's forgotten to have his own. That absence is deeply unsexy, and ultimately it's deeply disrespectable, to be honest. The respect erosion cycle. It starts with what I call the first accommodation. Something happens, a disagreement, a conflict, a moment of tension, and instead of engaging with it directly, you smooth over it. Maybe you apologize when you weren't entirely wrong. Maybe you drop a point you were trying to make because she seemed very frustrated about the issue. Nothing catastrophic, just one instance of choosing peace over honesty. And then comes a pattern. Because that worked or appeared to work, you do it again, and again, and again. The threshold for accommodation gets lower every single time because you've trained yourself to prioritize the smooth outcome. Meanwhile, she's been watching. And what she's registering, consciously or not, is that your posture or your positions are negotiable. Your opinions are soft. Your boundaries, even if they exist, can be moved with minimal pressure. Here's the thing about human psychology that most people don't talk about in the context of romantic relationships. Hear me. We don't respect what we can fully control. Not because we're manipulative, because something in us recognizes that anything without resistance, without its own integrity, without edges that push back, don't have real value. She might not be able to articulate why she's lost respect for you, she'll just feel it. And it'll show. The final stage is distance. She stops bringing real things to the conversation because she's learned that the conversation will basically loop back to you, agreeing with her or deferring the conversation. She stops looking for your opinion because she stopped trusting that you have one that's genuinely yours. And when she starts looking elsewhere, not necessarily with another man, but for the feeling of engaging with someone who actually shows up with perspective, right? That's when the problems start. That absence of genuine engagement is the respect deficit. And by the time most men notice, it's been building for a very long time. How to fix it? So let's talk about what actually builds and sustains respect, because this video is not a case for being difficult. It's not permission to be combative or contrarian or emotionally unavailable. Okay, that's the other ditch on the other side of the road, and it's just as bad. What she needs, and what people don't frame correctly, is honest presence. She needs to be with a man who's genuinely in the conversation and not performing agreeableness, not managing temperature, not anticipating her reaction before he's even finished his own thought. A man who has a clear position and communicates it without drama. A man who can disagree with her without making it a confrontation. Rebuilding that respect, and you can rebuild it, starts with one thing: saying the true thing, even when the easier thing is right there waiting. Not cruelly or combatively, but clearly without the immediate backpedal. It means getting comfortable with the idea that her discomfort is not a problem that you need to solve, right? It means trusting that a relationship which can handle honest friction or feedback is stronger than one built on permanent smoothness. And it means recognizing something that is genuinely counterintuitive. The moment she respects you most will rarely be the moments you gave her exactly what she wanted. Hear me. There'll be the moments you told her the truth when it would have been easier not to. The moments you held a position under pressure. The moments you showed up as a full person rather than a mirror of whatever she needed you to be. And let's bring this home. Here's what I also know. Knowing the pattern and breaking the pattern are two different problems. Most men can diagnose this in themselves after a video like this one, but very few can consistently execute on it because the habits that got you here are deep and they don't respond to awareness alone. They respond to repeated action taken before you feel ready. And that takes practice, right? That's exactly why I built the 30 Days to Confidence course. It's a digital course that I created, not to hand you a personality or give you lines or tricks, but to give you a structured 30-day process for building the kind of confidence that doesn't depend on her reaction, doesn't depend on her approval, or anyone else's for that matter. The men who go through this course don't necessarily come out on the other side knowing more. They come out having done more, right? And that's the only thing that actually changes behavior at the level that I'm talking about. If you're interested in this course, the link is in the description. Guys, if today's video landed for you, that's the logical next step because you've already done the hardest part. You were honest with yourself. And that kind of momentum deserves this kind of structure for you to run in. So, sign up right now and you won't regret it. My name is Jessica. Thanks for watching this video. I'll definitely be catching you in the next one. Cheers.